I want to open up to you guys about a powerful process I went through recently because I think it's very important, and a part of my purpose and a part of me having this channel and everything is to really not gatekeep anything. I am an open book entirely because I believe in helping the collective and having nothing be off the table or elusive, and so that we can all feel less alone too. Because this is hard work sometimes, and it requires a lot of faith to walk a spiritual path or a path of personal development in general. So, I am talking about today how spirit tests you. Ultimate faith in transition, I don't know if that's a word, but like transitions of ultimate embodiment and evolution, getting into your next phase. I experienced this in two ways. And the part I really want to highlight to showcase how powerful this is my housing situation. I moved across the country to stay with family temporarily while I healed and figured stuff out, for a couple of weeks at a time, to start. And basically, as I met people and had things kind of come into me as far as like realizations go and things, I came across two more permanent housing opportunities. When originally I came here thinking it was going to be super temporary, had no idea what was next. It was very much a healing phase for me. Okay, so one of the housing arrangements was set to be for March, and it was with some people, and eventually like some stuff happened and it didn't work, and then I realized, well, if I was not only with those people but in that location, I would have been kind of like there solidly for the next year, and I don't know what would have happened. My life would have looked very different, right? And so here's the next thing, is that especially looking back to the March, there was another housing opportunity that came up for August with somebody that I really, really saw a future with. And um, there was, again, spirit intervened. And I'm going to kind of go through this process with you to show you how this turnaround and how fast this happened. Okay, so literally the August place was no longer an option as of the 8th, August 8th. And the arrangement that I had was ending August 30th. So that's like less than a month. That's maybe a little over 3 weeks ish. And so I sat down, and in the past few months at that point, I had researched alternative living styles and lifestyles, but I sat down to write what I really wanted. And what that was, and I'm going to read it to you. I have like notes here. A flexible place I could go back to, but not a full-blown lease where I was stuck somewhere long-term and easy to maintain financially. A place that was clean and comfortable. I pictured it in my mind. Okay. And I wrote it down. I'm like, well, this is what I want. If it's like, I've seen people do, Airbnb hopping, but to me, that was a little expensive and a little like it wasn't stable enough, but I didn't want to be like on a lease contract for a year. I thought that that was just too long, and I wanted to be open to where spirit was going to take me, And so, as I said, the August place was no longer an option the 8th. I joined some Facebook groups and a roommate app. I visited 3 places August 16th in my area, like 3 potential homes, signed the papers for the one I chose August 22nd, and then moved in on the 30th. I had no idea what was going to happen. I felt very like destabilized and just in shock, like, what's gonna happen? But I sat down, I decided what I wanted, and I freaking got it that fast. And now I'm in this beautiful place that is safe and clean and easy to maintain. Exactly what I asked for. And so it's amazing how we are led through different phases in our lives, and spirit proves to us. And there is a scientific concept where, especially if you're somebody who's had some not so great experiences, having exposures to new experiences that rewire and change those narrow pathways is what facilitates deep, scientifically backed healing for the long term. So in my mind, I use that same concept when it comes to spiritual stuff of every time that you think that it's not going to work out, or you're worried, or you're like, oh my gosh, I can't see ahead of me, then spirit comes in clutch right in time. Every time it literally rewires you, it retrains your being and your body to be able to do this with more grace and to believe in spirit and to believe in your own evolution for your highest good, to live the life of joy and sovereignty that you are destined for. You've always been, but maybe you forgot because of those scary, yucky experiences from the past. And so now, like a week ago, and guys, it was on my birthday, and I was not so thrilled about it happening on my birthday, but I can see the higher perspective now. The same concept happened with my current job, where, because right now I'm doing freelance while pouring into my business, which is this and my advisory and stuff. And so, like, some weird technical issue happened out of my control. I thought that I was going to be like deactivated, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I thought I was going to like lose it. And what ended up coming out of that was that I reevaluated my priorities. I restructured what I was pouring into, especially financially. I was like, okay, I literally had a list, a going list, and I rearranged it. I was like, no, I'm going to pour into this first, and then this, and then this. I changed it all around. And then, I made a better plan in general for the eventual transition out of this current job that I'm in. And then I wrote down what my career would look like without the current job that I have, but also just the vision in general of what it is I am working towards, like writing it out specifically. And so not only that, it also identified some of the limiting beliefs that still live within me to a degree. And ultimately what that was, just to break it down for you, is that I thought that, like, the root of me being like upset and literally crying and being like, oh my gosh, like, it kind of connected to the home thing. I just got to this beautiful home, and like, what if I can't maintain it anymore? And just like, very kind of human 3D sort of like freak out moment. The root of that was that money would not keep flowing to me, that I'd use it and it wouldn't come back, which is a belief that a lot of people talk about, especially in the spiritual community. It's like, well, no, money is constantly flowing. There's more than enough to go around. And it's all about your value. It's about your integrity. It's about your presence here and what you do. And as long as you live in a way that is in alignment with your passions and you're a good person, like it's gonna, but everything's gonna work out basically. I don't want to get into that too much, but basically what I'm trying to say is it was like a wake-up call, sort of, and to have me realize everything that happens to me is literally for my highest good. Think about the housing situations that I just talked about. Literally, if I would have been with those friends in March, then I wouldn't have been available to potentially move in with somebody I really saw a future with. But then if I had moved in with that person that I previously saw a future with, then I wouldn't be available for this current place that I'm in. You know what I mean? So, yeah, basically, Here's another thing that I kind of wanted to break down with this. There's another part to this. With the whole job thing and the money thing, it was literally my birthday. I had set aside a nice chunk of money for the Renaissance Festival. And bear with me, this is a very specific example, but just to paint a picture of balancing the 3D with the metaphysical, of staying rooted in capital R reality. I thought to myself, I was like, well, shoot, if the money doesn't come back, if I lose this job, like blah, 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 then I shouldn't go to Ren Fair. I need to like hold on to all of this money for disaster. I was preparing for disaster, right? And as you might know, spiritually speaking, that's not a good energy to be in. So I had to change my perspective and say, okay, the reason why I want to go to Ren Fair is because, and this is true, a big part of my purpose, sorry, my purpose is to connect in community. I love those fully immersive experiences. I love the artists and the musicians that are there. That's just a big part of me, and especially being a divine feminine, like I'm in community. I want to be in the love. I want to support local people and local small businesses and just be with everybody. And so basically I was like, okay, this supports my purpose in that way, the community aspect, the love and the enjoyment aspect. And so that paired with my responsibility of conscious consumption, because even though I had stuff set aside, I was like, well, the way that I see it is, might want to make a whole other video about this, like a whole separate video about the trap of modern consumerism and how marketing exists to make us believe that we need to buy something that is like a physical material product outside of ourselves in order to feel better on the inside or to like feel fulfilled, when it's like a trap. It's not real. If you know what I'm talking about, you know. And so, especially with my background in this kind of stuff, I was like, okay, I do have money set aside for these things, but I'm going to go into it, even though I have this money, being like, oh, I know what I want. I know what products I do really enjoy and what I do actually really use. And so that is both eco-friendly and most enriching to my being, because how many times have we been in that position where we thought we really wanted something, we haven't, and then we're like, it's because we didn't consider it we didn't consider it enough in our soul resonance. So basically what I decided was I can set aside whatever is left over so I can have both, because I had not only my ticket money set aside, I had spending money as well, which is like a lot. So I'm like, okay, if I go, I'll go in, I'll see the shows, I'll have fun with the people, it'll be beautiful, I'll buy what I want. And then here, let me tell you, I not only had like leftovers for me to set aside a giant chunk of this new goal that I set in alignment with, like I said, I reprioritized, I reorganized like my goals and what I was pouring into financially. I set aside a giant chunk for that new goal. I was also able to go grocery shopping afterwards. Literally on my way home from Ren Fair, I went to Aldi and I bought like amazing and like beautiful things for only $20. Like I got so much food for only $20. So it's like, and that food's gonna last too. It's like, you know, the dry goods, it's the beans and the rice and stuff. So I was like, oh my gosh. I had more than enough when I married the 3D with the metaphysical, and I had an amazing time. I took pictures. It was just a beautiful day. It was like gorgeous outside, like perfect temperature, sunny. And yeah, that's how I ended up approaching that. Because at first, yeah, it was that panic, that 3D panic of like, oh no, I'm not going to go at all. And I'm just going to keep all this money. And like, well, I ended up having so much to set aside, even going still. So here is kind of the end section of the video here. So what if I had that job taken away? Even now, like with the whole technical difficulty thing, the screen could pop up again and it could lock me out forever. at this point. Like, that's where I'm at, like, full transparency. So it's like, okay, I've thought about what I would do already. My inner masculine came in and was like, okay, well, you have your business and you have like this thing, and like you connect with people, other people to work for in the realms that you are passionate and excited about. And because we have to follow our passion and not our fear. So what would that look like? Following what lights my heart up. Like, what are the different ways I could engage with that? I already thought about that. And then the whole thing of like not falling into old, depleting, frantic energy. Because here's the difference. Losing that job and then pouring into my business with everything I've got, basically, even more so, like all of my effort, all of my time. And then also being open to working for somebody else who has similar values that I do, who has a project going that excites me. The alternative to that would be going the more traditional route that my degree has, of like corporate 9 to 5. They disrespect you, they use you, you sell your soul for a freaking paycheck, basically. And it's like really gross, and they make you feel small, and just like, or I would go back to doing work that I used to do before my degree, which again is kind of a similar thing. The environment just isn't great. The managers just aren't great. And so I just want to make it clear as a little side note that yes, there are good companies out there. Yes, there are good managers out there. I don't want it to come off as a limiting belief of like, well, if I do this, it'll always be bad. No, I'm trying to align with newness. That's something I used to do. And then with the whole like traditional track with my degree thing, it's like, that's what I was told to do, but it hasn't resonated with me and it hasn't worked out for me. That whole time I had been trying before realizing more of who I was and what I actually wanted, because it wasn't meant for me. So it's like, why would I do something that's not meant for me? And it's actually been shown to me time and time again. And I'm going to make a separate video about this specifically, I think later, of like being redirected by spirit, thinking that you are so prepared for something, and actually being like, not just thinking, you are prepared for something, and you have all the right things, and you have the resume, and you have the connections, and blah, 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 and then you still don't get it. It's like, like you can't just, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and thinking that it's gonna give you a different result. So it's like, instead of getting into that frantic mindset of like, oh, well, society tells me to do that, so I got to do that. It's like, no, it's already been shown to me that that doesn't work. And I also hated it. So it's like, why would I do that? So distinguishing that difference between fear and passion, going on the passion route and never the fear route. And so let's see. Yes. Okay, that's it. That's in my notes. This is a lot that I wanted to say, so I like have my laptop under here so that I could say all of it. But does that make sense, you guys? That was a lot, but thank you so much for watching. Spirit will test you, and when you are on the other side, it is so worth it. Nothing happens for your detriment. It always happens for your highest good, even if you don't see it in the now moment as it's happening. So thank you so much for watching. If you love kind of real talk, nitty-gritty videos like this, please feel free to subscribe. I have a bunch of goodies linked down below in the description as well, of different offerings that I do. I'm wishing you a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.